Okay, Rob, quick question.
Shoot, Dan.
If I were to challenge you to get 250,000 subscribers in just 2 months, what would you do?
I don't even know if that's possible, to be honest.
I found someone who did it.
All right, then. I'm going to guess the obvious one. YouTube Shorts.
They're not using YouTube Shorts.
Okay, the next obvious one. Path of least resistance. Gaming. Gaming. Must be gaming.
It is Minecraft.
But hang on. Didn't Todd, the YouTube employee who likes to talk to creators, say that Minecraft is one of the most competitive niches, and if you try and break out in that topic, you're going to find it a struggle?
It wasn't just Minecraft. It really came down to genius strategy. I want to talk about the origin a little bit before we get into the specifics and the strategy, because I feel like the context is really, really important here. So there's this trend some of you might have seen on YouTube kind of taking over right now. It is SKIBIDI toilet videos. And it all started with just one creator from Georgia, and not the state, the country. Basically, he's an animator, and he made these animations of human heads popping out of toilets, singing this remixed TikTok song.
I knew TikTok would be involved somewhere.
These heads, they're bobbing around, they're making faces, they got big teeth that chomp around, and as you can see here, it's bizarre.
And creepy and disturbing.
But listen, my kids like it.
Oh, someone think of the children.
The original creator himself is pulling 3 billion views here in a month. And that, of course, is where you get other creators jumping in on the trend, trying to cash in on the hype. And opinions are split, right? You have people who can't get enough of these toilet creatures, and there's people who are terrified and want to burn their computers and leave the internet forever. It gets pretty controversial because there's people bashing it, just calling it dumb content. And then you have really legitimate concerns from parents worried that this is not what they want their kids to be watching on YouTube. But you know, Rob, love it or hate it, SKIBIDI Toilet is now an internet sensation, and we have to talk about it.
And so now, Dan, we're talking about heads in toilets and billions of views.
I honestly don't know how far this is going to go or if it's just like a passing thing, but for now, these creatures are going to continue their reign of terror.
All right, Dan, but how is this relevant to Minecraft?
Yeah, okay, so here's where we get into a bit more strategy, because basically this Minecraft channel decided to take this SKIBIDI toilet trend and fuse it with Minecraft. They've done this by essentially building sets within Minecraft, and then I guess using a mod or maybe some kind of animation technique, they put the characters that you recognize if you watch SKIBIDI toilet content, the heads with the toilets and the cameramen people, all of that now lives in Minecraft. Toilets are the bad guys, the cameramen are trying to stop them, just like in the original source material.
Oh, I see. So they gave a viral trend a whole new angle, but they tied it to gaming. It's a bit like what everyone, and I do mean everyone, jumped on Squid Game, you know, that trend in late 2021. And this time it's limited to Minecraft, right?
Yeah, exactly. And if you actually look at their channel, it doesn't look like something that's just like random that they stumbled into. There's actually a lot of nuance here and a lot of planning that they're doing.
Yeah, all right. I am looking at the channel now, and actually there is some strategy behind all of this bizarreness. Everything about this channel's branding and packaging looks intentional and optimized for the SKIBIDI Minecraft fusion. I mean, let's take a thumbnail, for example. Objectively speaking, they are intriguing and highlight the SKIBIDI toilet characters. They've got this low focal point and vibrant backgrounds. The creatures do really stand out. From a viewer's perspective, there's instant recognition and an immediate decision can be made as to whether somebody wants to watch the video or not. And there is another thing I noticed, Dan. There are stories being told in each of these thumbnails, but they seem incomplete and without context, which makes you want to click to understand what's happening. This channel clearly knows how to tease their content through smart thumbnail design. It's really impressive execution, actually.
Yeah, and you'll actually notice like the titles themselves are benefiting from SKIBIDI toilet as like a trending keyword. And they're also using some other things in there too, different character names, and then Minecraft itself in the title. But there's something else too. If you look a little closer, you'll notice how many titles actually take advantage of the versus format.
Ah, a format that says classic as they come on YouTube, eh?
When you pit like two characters against each other, it kind of already starts to tell a story, right? This format just kind of gives you that expectation. You know exactly what you're going to get. It's a face-off between two different entities.
And I've also been scrolling through the videos down and something else came up. These videos take a long time to make and there's clearly a lot of effort going into them. And they've been incredibly consistent with their publishing schedule.
At this point, they're posting like almost daily. So it's a lot. And they're not only doing that, they actually go out of their way to take episodes and kind of combine them into hour-long compilations too. So it's just keeping this like steady stream of content and I imagine revenue going.
There's a name for that, Dan. Milking it.
Don't hate the player. This is a strategy a lot of channels are taking advantage of right now. It's kind of in line with this channel, right? Everything is like a different strategy that they're shoving into this channel.
All right, consider me at least intrigued in the success this channel's had by jumping on a trend, nailing the packaging, they're consistently publishing. What else?
Well, I had to do something for this video that I'm not proud of, but I clicked on some other videos. And I'm just kidding. They are actually doing a fantastic job. It's just not content that's really made for me. But the videos are structured in such a way to be like as captivating as possible. For example, a lot of these videos start with kind of an establishing shot. We kind of set the scene a little bit. And then you have to hear the SKIBIDI toilet song at some point pretty early on in each video. No time is wasted saying welcome back or anything like that. It just pulls you right into the content with the familiar sounds and faces that you've already come to know and love. And it's all incredibly fast-paced too, through the camera angles, the sound effects, the character reactions. A story builds, and it builds quickly.
3 hours later.
Yeah, all right, Dan. So after watching a few of these videos, I can see that they're almost trend stacking. What I mean by that is they're taking popular memes and sound effects that are culturally embedded into our society over the last decade, and they're throwing this stuff in there like sprinkles on a sugar rush cake. Basically, they're doubling down on that addictive overstimulation that made the original SKIBIDI toilet virals go viral, right? These videos are almost non-stop audio and visual pattern interrupts that keep you glued to the screen if you enjoy that sort of content. And this, Dan, might be the biggest hack of them all that I can see. These videos avoid any spoken dialogue, so it can appeal to literally a global audience. All right, Dan, I'm getting into this a bit now. Leveraging a trend is one thing, but you do have to give this creator credit. They've executed on this almost to perfection. All right, Dan, so I can see why you're a bit of a fan of this.
I'm not, no, I'm not a fan. I respect what they're doing. As I said, it's not for me. But listen, like, I love everything they're doing in terms of how much strategy is behind this channel. And they took a trend, but they didn't just copy it, right? They really adapted it to something new and brought their voice to it. It's a different niche. They made it their own. It's this fresh perspective. It's innovative, right? One takeaway here for anyone out there listening, you can jump on a trend while making it your own. You don't need to be afraid to do something just because someone else did it before you. It's honestly all paid off. 80 million views in just 2 months.
Okay, Dan, I get your point, and some viewers may want to try this right now, but similar to Squid Game, you have a very finite time of opportunity. Surely anyone doing this now is too late to a party.
SKIBIDI Toilet goes deep, okay? There's a lot of lore. There's an entire wiki dedicated to this thing. And it doesn't just stop with the channel we're looking at. There's a bunch of channels jumping on this trend in all sorts of different ways. And a lot of them have a similar story where they started recently and they're already at over 100K subscribers.
I think we've given our community plenty to chew on today, right?
Well, wait a minute. No, I didn't even get into the sentient microwave character.
All right, stop. Dan, I'm wrapping this up now. You can share your fascinations with toilets and heads in your own time, thank you. Now, I get it, folks. A lot of you are probably not interested in this type of content on your channel, but there are many ways to grow as a small channel, such as when you are a gaming enthusiast and you post your first long-form video and it gets 100,000 views in 100 days. For the full case study, check out the video right here, right now. This is a Rob bit. Hold on to your butts. And this, and I get it, folks, for a lot of you, and I get it. Rewind.